Welcome to the Sirts and Skins Podcast. We are your hosts, Tori, Devin, Josh, and we're about to get into the NBA All-Star Weekend that we just started. Also, after that, we are going to also get into the greatest of all time, of all sport.
Who is she?
Debate that
Goat
Josh wanted to bring up. The GOAT of GOATs. Now, is that an individual? Is that a team sport accolade? We're going to get into that as well as NCAA college basketball. Our guy Devin's going to get into that as well. So let's start, gentlemen. We are fresh off of NBA All-Star Weekend. Let's start with the three-point contest. I just want to say, put some respect on Karl Anthony Towns' name. Nearly everyone was like, why is this center in here? And it's because he's a three-point marksman. He's a 40% shooter, and he won. And that's exactly why. Josh, your take.
Well, first off, he spoke a little blaspheme and came out and said, now Devin said that he said it differently, but the way I understood, he said, I'm the best the best shooting big man in the game. Now,
Well, with a three-point contest accolade under his belt, I mean, it's hard to argue.
I took a little offense to that. Now,
Because you thought it was you.
Devin is saying he means in the game today. I took it as he's trying to say he's the greatest big man shooter, which is complete and utter blasphemy because we all know it's Dirk Nowitzki. And the big
Of
cat.
like the best shooter or the best
Big man shooter.
big man shooter?
Big man shooter.
That'd be like, does Dirk have a low post game? Like, was he a dunking on, fools like that? He was a shooter. He was just straight shooter. He was like a Larry
He was
Bird.
a face-up four.
Yeah.
He was a face-up
he was
four.
a big man. Like,
I mean, he was a big man, but he wasn't like a center.
right. But he just said the
Towns
big man.
is a
He's big
center.
man.
Towns is a center, and
He said
he's also
the
a
best
marksman.
shooting big man. Dirk is the big man that shoots better. I might even say Tim
From
Duncan.
three? From three?
Yeah,
From three.
from three.
Josh from three.
Anywhere on the court, Dirk is
40%.
better. Dirk is better. Is
Dirk
that his
was
career
40%?
average? Is that his career average?
Look up Dirk's
I know.
any season. Look up Dirk's any season from it when at least he shot more than three times in a season from three.
First off, the game is
At
changed.
least
How
over
many shots is Towns shooting from three though?
like 4 to 6. I guarantee you.
I don't know.
Look that up.
All
too.
I know is, but he was
volume.
Listen,
and
okay, I'm
40%.
putting that
Volume
down.
and 40%.
Sorry, I was
Karl
trying to
Anthony
get.
Towns. And he beat all these guards anyway.
I was really looking into my
Sorry.
greatest of all time and trying to get his championships together, but it doesn't matter because he's the greatest of all time. But
Karl Anthony
you had
Towns.
no.
I mean,
no,
2006.
Oh, okay, there we go.
No.
He shot 41%, and 2005 he shot 40%.
But what was his shots
many
to
attempts?
attempts? Yeah, what
He
was his shots to attempts though? Like his
How
shots
many
to
attempts?
attempts.
1.2?
Yeah, like 3 a game.
No, 3 to 4.
3 to 4?
So this one he had 5, and he was shooting 39%, almost 40.
That's good. That's good. That's Dirk?
Yeah, he had
Oh, that's
4.9, and he shot
Okay.
3.397. So basically, he shot 40%.
Yeah, let's call it 40.
So
All right, his career was
career was 38%.
38? 38, Dirk.
Yes,
From
but
three.
an
And it was
averaging
and it was a long
of 3.5.
career. And it was a long career.
right.
And he
Let's
wasn't
go
even in
through
the game.
Towns.
He was at the back end of the 3-point game.
No, he was. He was.
You know what I
Truly,
mean?
He was. And the more that they pushed those guys, like Pau Gasol, he had a. As he got later in his career, he didn't want to do it, but he was really good.
Right.
He was really good from three.
But see, that's
On
because
the
he got
Spurs.
that's because he got slow with the pounding. Like he couldn't take the
No, of
center
course,
pounding
of
no
course.
more, so he got with the shooting.
Typically, later in your career, you move further away from the basket because there's more physicality down by the basket, and, you
And
get
plus,
more shooting
plus
opportunities.
Dirk had the jet, so you know what I mean. It was just like
Stop.
you know what I mean.
Really?
Oh,
That's
hit
who
the
we're gonna
three,
mention.
get those hands low and run, baby.
Yeah,
I
Anthony
miss the
Towns is at basically at 40. It's 39.6.
Yep.
So basically 40%.
How many attempts, though?
At 4 attempts a game.
4 attempts a game. So, all right. I see what you're saying about Dirk.
but Towns is in his prime.
And we just said shooter. We didn't say 3-point shooter. He just said he's the shooter.
I'm sure
but
he
he
was
was-
3-point
yeah,
shooter
he was in the
because he
three-
just hit the 3-point
Yeah.
contest championship.
And maybe he wasn't referring to in the league ever.
And hold on,
sure he
and hold
was
on
now.
And I brought up who the real horse of that was Kennard, because he's not like a legit starter, because like the talent he was playing, really it was like Trae Young to win. You wanted, basically it was like Trae Young and everybody else in the field. And you
That's
were
who
like,
should have won.
and you're like, okay,
But a center
it
won.
came down to Young, Kennard, and Towns, and then Towns ended up just getting really hot. And that's what happens when you're shooting and no one's guarding you in the 3-point contest. You just got to get that rhythm.
Yep.
And for a center to do that, It's impressive because like once you hit that last rack,
At the very
you're
least,
dying.
it's impressive.
Yeah, you're dying. But
very least, a
what's
center
not
in the
impressive to
three-point
me,
competition.
That's
impressive.
is the real 3-point shooters weren't in the contest, and it's like you beat
Oh yeah,
bottom tier because Towns and Young are your top tier players that were in it. You know, your high profile players.
Those
But-
people that people know.
Yeah, they were your high
the
profile
focal
players
point of the team.
But
those guys.
your actual your actual talent wasn't in it, and your previous winners, even like Buddy Hield, you know what I mean, like even him, but you didn't have Curry, Thompson. It would have been nice to see Thompson do it coming off his injury and still coming there and just getting hot and see what he could do.
Would have been nice. Would have been nice. Yep.
I don't know. You had Trae Young and you had Towns. Those are your talent.
The
Those are your
same
key
problem
players.
you have
Trae Young
with-
should have won.
He should have won.
If he's going up against a center in traditional thoughts, Trae Young, I mean,
sure.
that's the guy that should have put. But he should have been.
But
your Klay
29
Johnson.
points. 29 points is that's solid. That's a solid score.
That's hard to beat.
Yeah.
Damn good
It
score.
doesn't matter who you are. That's hard to beat.
yeah.
I mean, it's not like Larry Bird coming out with a warm-up jacket and just draining them and
Oh,
just
man.
sitting down good. But,
Iconic, iconic.
Yeah.
but it's the same problem with the dunk contest.
But that's the thing,
transition
like-
to that.
Tim Duncan would have never.
Did a
you go
3-point
out for
contest?
David Robinson.
Would have never did the 3-point contest.
Well, did nor won.
Yeah, he wouldn't have.
Yeah. Bill Walton, Will Chamberlain.
That's like saying
but that's
Shaq
also-
wouldn't do a free throw
Shaq
contest.
certainly would have done that
Yeah.
either.
But that's
yeah,
the difference in the game today. Is
exactly.
now
Patrick Ewing, you know,
you're
Alonzo
going more
Mourning.
towards all
Wouldn't have
shooting.
happened.
Like even Embiid,
Right.
who's probably like one of the most dominant big men in the game
Embiid,
today,
he probably should have.
That's what I'm saying.
is a shooter.
Yeah, you
probably
should
should've.
have. You should have had him. Like, if that's what you're
Yeah.
gonna do, then you should have had that.
Make it a
kinda
big man
setup.
3-point contest.
Right.
That would have been cool to see.
Make it some
Do
kind of
something to spice it up.
if you're not gonna have the best of the best doing it, which is it's like the 3-point contest was the best of the best doing it, and now that died out. It's sad.
It's the same thing with the dunk contest.
With the dunk contest, so let's go over to the dunk contest. How did you guys feel about this dunk contest? And what I want to get into the most is why. Josh, let's go to you first.
First off, one of the dunks that people were like getting hyped up about is the dude pulls out some Timbs and throws some Timbs on. First off, he laced them all the way up, so I was already like, okay, this is trash. But then, like, he goes out there and
You
dunks.
gotta go unlaced.
That's if you're gonna wear them, you gotta wear them right. But then you lace them up completely,
yeah.
and then people are all like, "Oh man, that's so great!" I'm like,
Nobody wears them all the way tied up.
But he's
Come
still-
on now.
"Bro, you're still an NBA
You're gonna put
player."
indentions. You're gonna put indentions in the suede, bro. You know what I mean? First off, we all know
hurt the
that.
shoe.
Yeah, you're
We
gonna
all
hurt
know
this.
that.
Yeah,
Come
Those
on,
are ruined
man.
now.
Yeah.
Like you might as well give those out. Never
yeah.
wearing those again.
Never,
And
never.
then, like I said,
It would have been better. It would have been. It would have been
dunk.
better. It would have been better if you would have like left the shoes,
Jumped out of them.
jumped out of the shoes. You would have been
Ooh.
better off. Right. That would have been more
Ooh,
impressive.
Leave them behind while
Leave
you're
them behind, bro. And then land it back in them. I would have been impressed.
That would've been really incredible.
Even if it was just like a stand up jumping up, because like the way hey, the way the dunk
You can't
contest
leave
went-
them and come back in them.
you can.
But if he
can't.
did, that would have
Next
been
year.
impressive.
Next year.
Hey, no, but for real, like it's gotten to the point where the dunk contest is like you wear a shirt
Yeah.
or you change into a shirt. And now I understand you're trying to jump, like get the crowd ready. Obviously, this is from 3 people who don't dunk. Obviously, we're sitting here.
I don't
But
dunk.
I'm sitting here talking about like
5'10".
Dunkin'
we're
Donuts, maybe.
we're not having flush dunks no more. We're hitting rim. We're hitting rim.
Yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
man.
We're just going around the back.
Mm-hmm.
We're putting shoes on, and we're putting jerseys on.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's not what we want to see. We want to see a dunk contest. Like at this point, I want to see dunks I haven't seen before. I want to see some kind of energetic flow to it, and I want to see flush dunks. So if you're not going to flush dunk, then you shouldn't be getting a 9 or a 10. If you're hitting the rim or if you're hitting it on your second, third try, it's not a 9 or a 10 ever.
And they have thankfully cut back on the perfect scores. Like
Yeah.
years ago, it was like
We'll
the
watch
past
you
3,
go
4,
through it
5
4
years
straight
ago.
times, botching it. But when
Bro, we
get
seen
it,
Blake.
nine or
We
10,
seen Blake
yeah.
Griffin dunk over a Kia Optima.
And I must say, personally,
Go ahead.
I'm a Blake fan.
Go ahead.
That was overrated.
Hit me up.
He
Thank
jumped
you.
over the hood of the car.
Thank you.
And it was sideways. Now, if he would have jumped over the length of that vehicle, or
Right.
even over the hood, not the hood,
With it propped up.
the top of the car,
Yeah.
Right.
Like
Top.
Then I'd be holy crap, that's impressive.
I don't know if you ever jumped over a car.
Obviously, I haven't.
You know what I mean? But
I'm not jumping anywhere.
You got the whole car. You know what I mean? The whole car. You know,
But
we're
it
talking
wasn't
about
the whole
5
car.
No,
It
but
was-
you're talking about at least the car. You know what I mean? You brought it in the car. You're dunking over the car, but you're doing the same dunks over nothing. And he brought in a car. Like, do that then. Bring in your counterpart. Like they brought in Wiggins and he jumped over Wiggins.
I hate when they jump over the guys too, because what do? They put their hand on the shoulder.
Butter. Right. They didn't clear him. Like there has been guys who cleared him though.
Right. That's more impressive. to me.
That's impressive.
Don't touch the guy.
Right.
Don't use him as a prop to
Yep.
kind of push yourself up a little bit.
Yep.
more.
So that's where I'm at, fellas. Here, let's see. So if we're talking about where the dunk contest is at and how we can improve it,
Bring in the dunk masters.
The number
Dunk
one
kings.
question is, what dunk haven't we seen?
That's my thing. I don't know how much more creative you can get as far as a new dunk.
How much more? Because again, now we have all the dunks going back to like what, 75? Like 1975?
Right.
So we go through all those dunks. And so if we're going to do a dunk contest and we're going to see like LeBron and Zach LaVine and all these guys in it, like how much more creative can they be?
So you want
we'll see them do the same things that we've already seen.
No, but you want crisp, flush, and the show.
No, I agree.
Right now, we're getting a show,
Yep.
or we're not getting crisp,
Right.
and we're still giving out 8, 9s, and 10s. At that rate, no, dude, give it what it's worth. Give it a 7. Give it a 6.5.
One of the best ones that happened was what, 01 with Vince Carter?
Right. We had the Vince Carter era. We had obviously what was the 80? This is me.
I'm just talking about the latest great one.
right.
No, I would say Aaron Gordon. No, Aaron.
The elbow in.
Yeah, but Aaron Gordon, and when he faced Aaron Gordon and the other dude,
Under
when
the
they
legs?
went back to back,
Right.
they went back to back, those two, that was solid.
Solid.
You had some impressive dunks. You had some impressive no look, because it wasn't just under the legs extended out. It was no look too. So like
agree.
it's the small things like that. When you have that kind of athleticism, that kind of ups, that's what we want to look at. We want to see the blindfold, like in hockey, when they did the hockey, the dude literally went out there with the average Joe blindfolded and dodged the dodgeball and scored. Like that's creative.
Agreed.
He's blindfolded and he still
Are you
completed.
sure you can see through that?
But that's not the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing,
It's
though.
still the show of
It's
it.
the show of
agree.
it. So
There
is that
is a
not
show.
more impressive than putting on Tim's?
What I'm saying is, so what we have is
Hold on. Before you answer, you want to put on your Shirts and Skins hat? You know what I mean? It's not impressive. It's already on. You know what I mean? Like you already had shoes on.
No, it would be more impressive if they put this hat on.
I would have been
agree with
impressed.
that. You
I
know
would
what I
have
mean?
impressed.
Not that my brother was going out there and dunking, but my brother used to play ball in Timberland loafers. So I mean,
Yeah.
is that really that impressive for a guy to
Bro.
put on some Timbs?
Well,
I'm sure
so
it happens all the time.
We played in
have-
slides.
We have
Like-
50 years of dunk contests,
right.
right? Like, and again, now, even today, go on Instagram, go on YouTube, go on Facebook Reels, which is basically Instagram, and it's like, no, those dunks are solid. Awesome. How many attempts did it take for them to hit that?
Of course.
Because
Right.
it's probably less than, or it's probably more than the 5 that they get now. So I agree that, well, what I think is you get your one. You get one shot to hit that dunk, and then that's your rating, and then you move on.
Well, so
Because if you go 7 straight times, I've already seen what you're attempting,
Yeah.
and now you've taken away from the awe of it.
Now when you do finally hit it, it's kind of like
It's like, oh,
Well, I believe
Hey,
it's
he
like
got
you
it.
get 3.
It's not a 9.
You get like 3 chances, and it's like, but if you leave your feet 3 times, or if you leave your feet 3 times, that's your chances, or
Yeah.
some kind of ruling to that. But like, that's the thing. It's like you're supposed to critique. You're supposed to critique this, and you want the best of the best.
Yeah,
So
of
like
course.
when you have like a C grade player in the NBA coming out doing C grade dunks, and then you have better dunks during an NBA All-Star game than you do in the dunk contest. That's where I'm at. That's where I draw the line. And it's been the past few years. You've seen LeBron James in his 16, 17, 18 season do a better dunk in a game than you have in a dunk contest. So you're telling me these young cats can't come in here, give a week of their time to come out with a dunk, which you already know these guys are balling, dunking around, playing basketball.
Yeah, they got their
on the
offs.
road.
at the end of every practice.
Come on,
I'm
man.
sure they're doing little mini dunk contests already.
Right.
during the shoot around.
You know,
During
like
the shoot around, they're throwing the dagger now, which is pass it this way, behind the bat this way, slam it in that way. So I'll give it that. I think there needs to be a certain rule structure that it's like, look, you don't get your whole 90 seconds. Or again, like as you guys were both pointing out, like, okay, cool, you jumped over the hood of a car, Blake Griffin, which, you know, we all remember that, right? Like we all remember. But at the same time, like if MJ dunks from the free throw line, you don't think he's automatically going over the hood of a car? It's parked sideways? Like, of course he is. Like, so, like, what is the hood of a car? Or, you know, even back in the day, they'd bring out the ball cage.
Yeah, the
they
ball
used to
rack.
the ball rack. And it's like, I already know you're going over that because you're Vince Carter or Kobe. And naturally, you're going to go over that just on a normal dunk. So all these props, I get it. But at the same time, it's like, how many dunks are actually out there that we haven't seen? And if we haven't seen them, how many times does it actually take to put one together?
Right.
And so I think if you only get, you get one shot to it max, and then we move on and you're out.
But I want to see it. I want to see it all together. I want to see it all together, though.
Sure.
So, like, if we're not going to get the full talent out there, I want to see in Tim's over the car. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Like that was my thing. Just putting Tim's on didn't impress me.
Like,
first.
I understand you're in you're in like
blowing out a candle also did not impress me.
Yeah, you're in weighted shoes. You know, you're in thicker, big bodied.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Tim. Like,
Throwback.
that's where we're at. So, like, that's where I'm at. Like, okay, you went like when even Dwight Howard went in there and he changed into the Superman cape.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like when you put on someone else's jersey, you put on different shoes. Okay, but then add to what has already been done. Add to if you're going to go straight for the play instead of the aggressive dunk.
Yeah.
There has to be a balance of it to be a great dunk.
Yeah.
Especially if you're not going to, like I said, if you're in a game playing against the greatest players, whether or not all-star game, the lack of defense, but I'm talking about a flow of a game, a one shot, and these dunks are going in, the first shot from a guy you never practiced to get the ball from, and you're landing a great dunk. That's what I'm talking about. So you have practice. You can set something up, set it up, make it more fan friendly, make it to whether it's a ball rack that you're jumping over, and we all know he can jump over. At that point, you're just waiting for him to fail. You want to see him. You want to see him fall into the ball rack, and it's that little bit of like uncertainty.
One of the best dunks that I've seen in recent years was old boy that threw it off the side of the backboard, grabbed it, and then slammed it in while he was in there. Because I was like, damn, that is creative.
You have a small margin of error there.
Yeah. Creative
Extremely
angle. You have a pass.
Yeah.
You have an angle. You have a flush, and then, like I said, you have the crisp dunk, not the rim.
High degree.
You don't bump the rim.
Yep.
It was like Obi. Yeah, he had some decent dunks. He won.
Some good ones.
They weren't crisp though.
No.
They all hit the rim, and it's just like
Blake Griffin style.
You needed that more. Just
throw it in there.
Yeah, aggressive. Like hate the net.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. That's what I want to see. I want to see like you're the best of the best, and we're all critiquing this, but let's just say the dunk contest has went down.
Agreed.
And the 3-point contest this year didn't have your 3-point shooters.
Oh, the McDonald's slam dunk contest or the high school slam dunk contest, that helps elevate your status especially in high school as you're going to college. That's why a lot of these guys that are now in the NBA, they participated in that.
Right.
Or they won that. But once you get into the NBA, now, again, you look at it and you're like,
there's no incentive at this point.
What dunk hasn't been done? And look at the stage that it is now, which is a lot of guys who, you know, they're backups or they're bench guys who have hops, and then like what are they doing? What do they have going on? And so, and like, how does it elevate you? It really doesn't.
Right. There's zero incentive to really want to do it.
No incentive. No, absolutely not. Other than bragging rights, and
it's a personal thing.
Yeah. Like Devin said, like 3-point contest, awesome. Like Karl Anthony Towns.
We need some side bets.
Huge for today's game, and he did beat Trae Young. Don't get me wrong, he beat Trae Young. But we would love to see Steph Curry been there, done that. Klay Thompson been there, done that. All these other guys who would love to state their claim as I'm the shooter of this era, and no one can beat me. And I would love to see all these guys in it as well. Let's move on to the All-Star game, because now they set a cap on whoever gets the 163 first in a game, whenever it happens.
Still same output though. The first 3 quarters play, last quarter You play defense.
We lock in.
Yeah, we lock in.
You just go first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter. All the averages of the points scored come down.
Yeah.
Because now they just start to lock in a little bit more throughout every single quarter.
And then finally in the fourth.
And then I believe they actually tied a quarter too. So they tied a quarter, and they ended up like splitting the money for one quarter. So like,
it
your
was
charity
only a 3-point game anyway.
Right. It for the most part, from what I got from the All-Star game is you had Giannis who was going hard. He didn't score a lot, but he was going hard. He always goes hard. He takes the All-Star game very serious.
He even said that. He was like, I can't not come out here and not play hard. He's like, this is still a game for me.
I know they had like Giannis and Steph for like MVP, and then Steph ended up stealing the show.
Yeah, Steph was ridiculous.
Just shooting threes. You're talking about 3-pointers. This man was like, dude, I don't even want to do a 3-point contest because I'm shooting from the other side.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I need to keep these arms loose because I'm going to put up 27 of these.
The 3-point contest is too close for me. Like, can we move these racks back?
Yeah. Woo! Bro, that dude was draining. He was having like full conversations before he was turning around and asking the fans if the ball was going in.
The rim was like the size of the poker table here.
Right.
For him.
Dang, all red, baby. Except for him, it was all green.
Yeah. We were talking about
money.
like Dirk. He had the one-legged Dirk 3 shot that was just like flush.
Pump fake step back.
He stole the show, man. And then you had him, Giannis, and then Morant. Morant came out balling. I don't know how we can stress it enough. That man is basically Russell Westbrook.
He had like one of the biggest highlights in that 360 alley-oop. That was just a beautiful dunk.
I wanted so much more of him than the 6 minutes that we got.
Like it was exciting to watch.
The future is bright for All-Star games for him.
Yes.
Well, the future is still bright for this year for him.
Oh,
like,
no, totally.
He's cemented something, and he could definitely pull something out of the bag.
The Grizzlies are sitting at the 4th seed right now.
They're definitely they're 4th or 5th for sure.
Third?
Are they up that high?
Ooh, no, Jazz.
No, they are the 3rd.
They are the 3rd. Ha!
I thought they were 4th.
Now, I'm really looking forward to see a whole lot more John Moran. He got like maybe 6 minutes of run time because I do, a lot of the other guys were, as you guys said, on that team, they were after it. They were adamant. They wanted to get some. Ja it's his sophomore year.
And he's looking incredible.
And he's on the All-Star roster. Like,
he deserved to be there.
You got to earn a little bit, so you're going to get your 6 minutes, and the rest of these guys are going to get their 20, 30 minutes. But at the same time, it's like you're here, so you're getting run. Let me ask you this question. Chris Paul?
Man, that's...
broke his thumb, right? Here, let me set this stage.
Yes.
If a player breaks any ligament, or I'm sorry, they don't break a ligament, breaks a bone, and they're out 6 to 8 weeks for their team, and then they come in and they play in the All-Star game? Is that a little like, hey, shine some light on me? Oh, hey, or is it like I want to play it? I'm that hard? Because I feel like if you're certain players, it's shine the light on me, and here I am, and let me get a little spotlight, and then other guys, it's like, oh, he just wants to play. But in the All-Star game, not in a real game.
I think because it's Chris Paul, no one's going to say it's the spotlight thing.
I agree.
Because of his history as a player and everything like that, everybody likes him.
But he's got a broken thumb. And he's not going to play for the Suns, but he's going to play for the All-Star team.
I think it's different, though, because there's no contact.
And
it's Rudy Gobert set a screen for him, and he ran right into him. He's like, hey, I got a broken thumb here, guy. What are you doing setting a screen on me?
But you're also in a conference.
And it's like, hey, I thought we were playing a basketball game. Why are you getting upset at me?
Yeah. But I thought we're in the same conference. So, if you don't play, that'd be great.
Yeah, and he's like, it'd be awesome if I, made that worse for you.
Right, because, I'll probably have to face you.
I'm probably going to play you soon.
Yeah. For him, I think it would have been better if he would have came out, played a couple little plays, and then went right back out. Just show your face.
Yeah.
And then come right back out. You don't need to be on the court trying to actually play physical or hard or...
Well, and let me clear this up. I love it. Again, if you're able to go out there, especially at an All-Star game, people spend thousands and thousands of dollars to be there. It's one of those things where it's like, it's great if you can show up, you can show your face. And again, you're the number one seed in the entire NBA, let alone the West. But I just do know, like, say if you're LeBron, that it would have went a different way as far as like, oh, look at this guy who can't play for his own team for the next 6 to 8 weeks, but here he is showing up for the
because he wants to get his name.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Shine the light on me a little bit.
I don't know if they would have did that with LeBron.
And he's on the banana boat with Chris Paul. So
I don't know if they would have did it with LeBron because LeBron is like his team. He was the captain.
The fans would.
But like Anthony Davis, like if Anthony Davis were to do it, they would have lost it.
God.
They would have lost it. They would have lost it. Dude, they would have lost it.
I think of LeBron no matter what he does.
You're injured 3 times every season and you decide to play now?
You're injured right now. Yeah. You play 17 minutes from your 3 weeks off and you got injured again, and now you're going to play in the All-Star game?
So with that Phoenix injury.
Go on. I'm sorry.
The Chris Paul injury.
Yes, sir.
How big of an injury do you guys think that is for them?
I mean,
I know Joe Stumper. This man is the sky is falling, like biggest
over-exaggerator?
Like anytime something happens to his teams, he's just like, it's over.
Well, I mean,
it might be.
He was right with the Cardinals, but I'm like, that's what he does. Like he gives up so quick.
Let me quote him: "Injuries happen to every team." So just play on.
A lot of my team.
Oh yeah, I mean, they beat the Lakers, and Anthony Davis missed the whole postseason after they were up 2-1.
It's Chris Paul.
Hey, look, it is what it is.
You knew Chris Paul was going to get hurt.
Listen, Chris Paul was bound to get hurt. If anything, you wanted him to get hurt right now.
Playoffs, though.
But
that's the thing.
Now what's going to happen? No, but now what's going to happen is he's out for 6 to 8 weeks for the thumb, and then when he comes back, he's going to
get a hamstring.
Pull a hammy, bro. He's going to pull a hammy, and it's just.
I hope not. I want him to come. Like I think if there is a quote unquote good time to get hurt, maybe this is one of the better.
Not
times.
for him.
That's what Anthony Davis is saying about his 30.
That's not for him. That's not for him either. No, he's brittle. Chris Paul will fight to come back.
Yeah,
Chris Paul will fight to come back.
He might try to rush himself back too fast. That's what we're referring to, and then end up being hurt because he rushed himself back.
Right, and then pull a hammy.
Mm-hmm.
But
I agree with that.
Again, 6 to 8 weeks. I think it's 5 weeks to the end of the season.
You got 20 to 25 games.
So
he
comes back right after. You don't bring him back for that first round.
Depends on who they play. Hold on. Well, no, exactly what you're saying. They could play the Timberwolves. They might be able to beat them alone. They could play the Clippers.
In the first
probably
round?
beat them without him.
No, the first round, they're not playing the Timberwolves in the first round.
Depends on if they fall because the Timberwolves are a seventh
seed right now.
So if they go from 1 to 2, Timberwolves.
Bro, but they're what? They're like 10 games above the Timberwolves.
But we're talking
they're
about
only like 4 above
matchups.
Golden State.
We're
that's
talking
what I'm
matchups
saying.
in the playoffs.
Timberwolves. So that's what I'm saying. They're still going to play 7 or 8. The Timberwolves aren't falling to 7 or 8.
Timberwolves are 7 right now.
7 right now.
The Timberwolves?
The Timberwolves are 7 right now.
Not talking about the Grizzlies. Talking about the Timberwolves.
Oh, they're playing just Towns. They can play Towns. So.
Exactly. They could probably do it without Chris Paul.
I think in the first round, they're more than likely they'll be able to come out of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
The second round is where you need Chris Paul to come back. So you don't rush him back for the first round.
Right.
You let him come back, get rested up a little bit so he doesn't try to rush back.
Yeah, you probably want to see like the Lakers or like the Clippers or the Timberwolves.
I don't know if you want to see LeBron, Anthony Davis, and Russell Westbrook.
What do you mean?
What
are you talking about?
Chris Paul.
What are you talking about? Bro, you're going to be with like half a broken Westbrook, a hamstring LeBron, and Anthony Davis isn't going to be there. That's like guaranteed.
Now, if that is the case, then
we need Charles Barkley in the background. Guaranteed. Like, I'm telling you, even without Chris Paul, they're beating the Lakers.
I think they're still going to be able to advance past the first round.
It will depend on who they play when it comes to Chris Paul time.
Correct.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
hopefully you play a team that you feel comfortable enough
now
to where you can let him rest through that first round.
Do you feel like Phoenix? God, they have a 6-game lead over the second seed, which is the Warriors. Now I expect the Warriors to start to climb up that win column, and I do expect the Suns to drop because they should exploit some of what because now this is going to be on Devin Booker, the primary ball handler. A lot of it's going to go to Booker, and then we're going to see him hopefully utilize Ayton quite a bit as well. But without Chris Paul, we've known that Ayton doesn't quite get utilized quite as much. Booker's probably going to look to take a lot of the scoring.
He's more ball dominant. The way that Chris Paul is a facilitator.
Yes.
So it's going to change your offense completely.
How far down are the Grizzlies below? Oh, they're only a game below the Warriors. So that really That could change a lot. Now, what I really liked about the Grizzlies, though, is that they stayed packed over this trade deadline.
Right.
I like that they're like, hey, we're third.
Yeah, why?
We might not win the title. Hold on.
Don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the boat. Let's see what happens next. Maybe we're a first round out, depending on if we get, a bad. I don't even see a bad team beating them in the first round. So they're probably a second round, if not Western Conference Finals round out. Don't rock it. Let's just see, and then in the off season, we'll address it.
Yeah, and
for whatever that need is. I love.
You're going to have people that are going to want to. Although nobody probably wants to go to Memphis per se, but you'll have veteran guys. But you'll have veteran guys that want to play with Ja.
Yes.
That's the thing.
And, as Devin said, Russell Westbrook, yes. Bit Derrick Rose, yes. For me, a lot of Allen Iverson, yes. I love Ja Morant.
Yeah.
That guy is phenomenal. He has, again, like very Derrick Rose-ish, the way he attacks the basket. So I have very Derrick Rose-ish hesitancy about his health. But again, like that's the next guy that aside from Luka, it's like if you want to watch somebody just take over a game, take over every possession, take over every shot, yes, that guy. Now, typically, high usage does not work out well in the playoffs. You can look at your Iversons, no titles. Look at Harden, no titles. Look at Russell Westbrook, first round exits every time he's ever done it. And so, Derrick Rose. Did he? Oh, he made one Eastern Conference final, but even then, he actually didn't have a high usage rate. You go through all these guys that have had, even MJ, when he had one of the top 10 most usage rates in the entire league, he was, he still lost to Boston. Now, granted, he lost to Boston because Boston at that time. But you go through all of these guys that have had the top 10 usage rates, none of them in NBA history have ever won a title on that season. So you look at your Lukas.
That's what I'm saying. I was just about to say. What scares me is the same thing with the Mavericks.
Yes.
It's you have the one guy.
You got the guy, Luka.
Who else do you have? Like, who else on the Grizzlies is there?
Spencer Dinwiddie on the Mavs. Not gonna.
The Mavs, Luka.
That was a move for next year. We had to get Kristaps out of here.
Get rid of that big money,
and we'll focus next year.
But like with the Memphis, it's like you have Ja, and then you the people
Jackson, JJ.
The guys that are around them, you don't know them. They're not household names.
Right. No.
The same thing with the Mavericks. You have Luka, and there's no household names.
Nope.
So it's like, how far can that one guy take you? That's going to be the big thing. They turn it on?
Right.
And hope that the role players step up?
When you're going against Curry, Draymond, and Thompson, because again, I mean,
even with the Suns, like the Suns have multiple people that can score. The Warriors have obviously multiple people that can score. It's
Phoenix can defend.
Those are the teams. That's like
Ayton can hold his own on the perimeter.
If you do end up with a healthier Lakers team at that point in time, you can never count out LeBron. I hate saying that, but you can never count out LeBron.
No, he's going to turn it up.
Right.
Yep.
He's going to turn it up, but it's just even in the playoffs, you need someone else to turn up with you, and then you need that sixth man or that bench player. Yeah. And I don't see it, man.
That's the big thing. Like, who's the guy that's gonna,
especially if Anthony Davis can't help you drop 30 or 40 any given day.
Like 2 years ago, because he hasn't been that guy since.
Yeah, it's looking rough. And then even with we brought up Dallas. Doncic is a beast, and we want to put Doncic and Morant, but Doncic is a shooter and a actual point guard to where he assists and tries to pass the ball, where Morant is
6'8", so he grabs rebounds.
Yeah, Morant's just a beast, and likes to drive, and he's gonna shoot, but he's gonna throw a little bit of defense in there. He's gonna give you that grit, where Doncic is more of straight shooter, point guard. It's almost
a finesse versus power kind of thing.
Right.
Where you would think Doncic would be more power because he's thick.
Yeah.
And Ja Morant is more finesse, but he's still hard-nosed.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. He is he'll go in and just slam in your face and doesn't care who's there. He's going to try to go through your face.
He definitely plays with energy. Energy definitely is part of Morant's game.
All right. Switching over to the East. Fellas, all right. Your and my Miami Heat are number one. Do I expect us to stay that way throughout the playoffs? No. But I love being here at the All-Star break, and we got Victor Oladipo coming back, so I love that. What shakeup do you see happening?
It already happened.
What's that?
Chicago and Cleveland are up there.
Cleveland.
That's a shakeup.
Cleveland's just crazy
Cleveland's
to say
awesome.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Cleveland's so great.
That's just absolutely insane to even
That's
say
another
Cleveland.
team that, like a Memphis Grizzlies light. Like, leave it alone.
Right.
This just happened this year. Do not shake it up. Leave it be. Let's see where it goes.
See
At least
where-
Memphis, we had last year, and we're like, hey, look out. Look out for these guys.
Atlanta,
No
too.
one last year was saying, hey, Cleveland, look out for these guys. No,
No.
they got Mobley, and now they're, what are they, fourth?
Fourth, which is insane.
I kind of said Chicago's going to do something. When you add DeRozan the ball, and then you have Vucevic, and then
Vucevic.
yeah, and then you already have Zach LaVine. Like you have a bold, like
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah,
Alex Caruso.
yeah. I mean, you have talent there.
Elmer Fudd.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Go on.
you have the talent there. You're in Chicago. You're in the basketball town. You're going to make some noise. Now, what they do with that's another thing. But they have a big man.
I mean, they just signed Tristan Thompson.
I like that move.
I think it's
I think he's
guy going off the
Rebound
bench.
gobbler, a hustler. Not great on offense, but pick and roll. Dunk
Yeah,
guy,
he's towards the
alley-oop
end.
guy.
He's a person to give Vucevic.
If you're not bringing him in to score points for you, like you want him to be just
get some rebounds,
defensive
pass it
rebound.
back out. He's been there. He's been to the playoffs. He's getting chips.
Yep.
I'm not like I said. I think he's towards the end of his career, so it's
For
not
sure.
really that big of a deal to me. But you already had the talent there. What you do with it, I don't know. I still think the Bucks are going to turn it up. They're just kind
I
of
agree.
mosey. They're just moseying along.
I think
They
that's
actually
where everybody's at. I
They're
think.
they actually just
They're fifth, and they're 2 games away from the 1 seed.
Yeah.
right.
Like,
They're right where they want to be.
they're fine.
They actually made a move. They got I believe.
Baca.
Well, no. Even after that, they got they picked up a point guard, I believe, or a shooting guard, and who was it? Somebody. They picked up somebody just the same time Nets picked up Dragic. So
Nets did just pick up Dragic.
Yeah,
yes.
Nets picked up
The
Dragic.
Dragon.
Yeah, and then the Bucks picked
Your
up.
Miami Heat.
The Bucks picked up. He was actually an ex-Son. I can't think of his name right now, but
What's
they
up?
picked. No, it wasn't a big name. It's not a big name. No, it's not a big name. But they picked him up. He has a little bit of talent to help, Holiday out a little bit. You gave Holiday a little bit of backup, but the Bucks are going to make a move. Like I said, they picked up Ibaka as well.
Even if they don't make a move,
They're
they're
going to
gonna
come
make
in.
a run.
They're going to come in with defense.
Yep.
And to be honest with you, it's probably going to be the Heat and the Bucks again.
Nets?
Again.
Huh?
Who?
Harden?
The Nets?
Or I'm sorry.
No.
That's how easy that is. Simmons? Durant? Kyrie?
No, that's not going to work. Not right now. They don't have enough time. Has Simmons even been playing?
Where they at? They're 8th?
8, 7 back from first.
Sitting back from first.
Where do you think Simmons is at?
They're 3 away from 6th.
Where do you
all they
think
gotta do
Simmons
is-
is at? You think Simmons is ready to go out there and play? Probably not.
I mean,
Kyrie?
Josh.
What's Kyrie got going on?
What do you think, Simmons?
I think
Sixers?
Simmons going to be in basketball shape. I don't think he was sitting at home the whole time during this whole.
No, he was at the strip club with Harden. And then they traded for each
Trade
other.
you for me.
Right.
Me for you.
Hold on. Here, you take this dollar. I'll
I
take
think
that
he was
dollar.
in basketball shape, and again for what he's going to be doing, I don't know if he really. I mean,
You remember when Doc was like, "Hey, you want to practice?" And he was like, "No."
can you blame him?
Threw the ball and left.
I mean, that's what he's going to be doing. He's going to be throwing the ball.
Yeah, to his,
Brick.
That's his other
I'll tell you
teams.
what, guys. Over All-Star Weekend, we heard a lot of things. We heard a lot of things out of LeBron's camp. We heard a lot of things.
Was it his
out of-
camp or his agent?
And him.
Or was it nobody?
No, it was him, and it was his agent, and then it was a lot of things. Aaron Rodgers, but the 2 parties that we didn't hear anything from, Simmons and Harden.
Yeah.
They weren't there.
Why did we not hear anything? Like, I feel like Harden could have been like, loving this Philly cheesesteak. And everyone would be like, oh!
Yeah.
Oh, he likes it there. He's on. No, he just.
He's probably not even there.
They
Simmons
did
could have
show
been
him-
like, hey,
Harden's probably not even in Philly
this
right
Brooklyn Bridge
No,
view is
they
gorgeous.
did show Harden at a practice,
Oh, yeah?
like screaming because he was so excited to be there.
Okay. All right. There
They
we go.
did show something. Like,
now. Was it photoshopped?
Now Simmons,
Nothing
he was in a
from that
warm up
camp.
suit. He wasn't even like in like a legit uniform. He was still in the warm-up suit, but he was like yelling because he's so happy to be there. Simmons, crickets. Like, I have not heard nothing about
Instagram
Simmons.
jump shot photos or reels.
Well,
or
they're not going to lie to you. We know he's not jump shotting.
nothing. No, but that's what he does in the offseason. It's like, hey, look at these like 3 threes I made over the course of 3 months off.
But no one's guarding me.
Yeah. I did this at LA Fitness.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, he's ready to unleash. And then,
Oh man, I don't know.
we didn't hear anything
I'm not
from
feeding.
those
I'm not
guys.
feeding into that hype, man. I'm not feeding into Philadelphia. I'm not feeding into Embiid and Harden. I'm not. I actually, before we even move on from that and see what they're doing, I wanted to go and change my beginning to championship.
I think everybody in
It's
Oh,
not
you
going to
wanna
be.
change?
Yeah, it's not going to be the Nets and Lakers. They fooled me. I'm glad I didn't put no money on it. I'm not buying in. Definitely change that. The Nets definitely let me down. Irving, Durant, great scores. Is Simmons going to go in there and change it? It's not going to happen.
Great defender.
But is he going to be the player you think he's going to be?
no, it doesn't fit.
It's not. He's not ready to play, dude. I don't care if he's 25, 26 years old. Dude, he hasn't played
I
all
don't think
year.
it fits at all.
He's-
Everyone's like, this is the best fit, 2 scores, and you're a defender. And I'm
and
like,
he could just pass the ball to us, and until like Kyrie Irving wants the ball.
yeah, what do you like? A
I like
lesser
the
scoring
fit.
version of Kyle Lowry? Like, that's
I
not
like the fit
Simmons.
because he doesn't need to score. You didn't bring him in to score.
No, that's the thing though. Like you brought him in to defend heavy, hard, which that means he has to be in shape. He's not.
We don't know that.
He's not, dude. You can be in shape. That don't mean you're in
And
basketball
when
shape.
you're on offense, they're treating you like Russell Westbrook. They're sacking off.
Right.
They're like, shoot that 3. Dare you.
He's going to have to facilitate
I'm
for
going
the other
to double
guys.
team
He's-
Durant and
Ha-ha.
let you do whatever you want. Because when you're not going to make a
And then-
layup, you're going to pass out of a dunk.
You're actually not even going to shoot the ball,
Well, we gotta-
even if we give you an open shot.
What as Nets
Too many
fans
mental
have
games.
to hope is that was a mental block he had there, and now that he's away from there, maybe
Right, a lot of ifs,
I 100% agree.
So I'm not taking the Nets. And Philadelphia, your first Harden got to get in shape. Yeah, he's happy. But now you're
Been
going to
2
have
years
Embiid.
since he's been in shape.
Now but Harden, have you played with Embiid yet? Because Embiid also likes the ball,
Nope.
and he also likes to be the star, and he also likes to be the showcase of everything.
Because I remember the last time Harden played with a true center, and that was like 4 years ago.
But that wasn't a true. That was a true center.
Right.
That wasn't a center that likes to shoot the 3 and likes to shoot
Yeah.
the ball.
And they got rid of all of them. And they're like,
Yeah.
we're going 5 out. So it's
and
been
then
4
he went to
years since
and then
he played with a
he went to
center.
Atlanta. He went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And that guy didn't shoot. He was a rebound and dunker.
So he might
Capella.
drive and be like, why is your big
Yeah.
ass down here?
Right.
You should be on the arc.
Hold on. You should be down there getting my rebound, passing it back to me. How am I supposed to get a triple double if you keep getting all my rebounds? You know what I mean? Like it's not going to work. But y'all can feed into that. I'm not feeding into it.
I will feed into that
Yeah.
too.
I will feed into
Yeah,
that
it
because I
sounds
think
great.
76ers could be a beast.
I think
Listen,
that's gonna be-
I like Harris. I like Tobias Harris.
I don't. I really don't.
I think he's a decent third, fourth option, and
I like him
he
as a
can
player.
go
I don't
off.
like his contract.
He
I don't like his contract for what he
it don't matter.
produces.
That's what it is.
Agreed.
You can't change that. The team is Harden, Embiid, Harris. That's your team. Harden, you got to hope Harden is somewhat Harden we're looking for.
3
and
years
then
ago.
you need Embiid to mash with Harden. Mm-hmm. Good luck.
3 years ago, I would have just waxed this whole season off. Be like Sixers finals done.
So,
But now
You're
we get
putting-
this version of Harden.
where would you put the Nets? Where would you put the
I don't
Nets?
know.
The Nets and Sixers. Would you put them over Milwaukee, the Heat?
I'll probably put all of them over the Heat. As much as it pains me to say that, I love our depth. I love our ability to match up with everybody. It just comes down to, like, is it all going to come together at the same time? Because we do not have that star power. Not that star power. Like Jimmy Butler and Bam, love that. That's not Harden and Embiid. That's not Kyrie, Simmons, and Kevin Durant. Of all people, Kevin Durant. That's
Yeah, but
not
you have
Giannis.
you have an all game, like an all team and depth, and you have a game plan of who you are.
And that's why we beat Milwaukee 2 years ago.
You're the same,
And then we got swept by them.
I have faith.
Hard to say.
For me, the 76ers are already the
Josh.
third seed,
Yes.
and I feel like they've improved.
And
with this trade.
that's been without Simmons.
right.
Continue.
Now you put somebody who
Plead
can
your
help you
case.
score, and you're already the third seed, and you're going to bring in a guy that can help you score.
Changes your whole game.
What's it going to change?
Offense.
Harden wants the ball.
Those two, I believe they're going to feed off of each other. I don't think it's going to matter if I want the ball. I think they're going to feed off of each other with this.
Have you ever seen Harden and Embiid run back?
You're not going to need to run back because they're going to make it every time.
No, that's not going to happen.
I like this pairing.
Okay, how long do you think it's
I
going to...
love this pairing.
How long do you think it's going to take for them to pair? You think it's just automatic sync?
No, but I don't think it's going to take that long.
Okay, but before you know it's going to be playoff time, you better hope you're ready.
There will be.
Okay.
I don't think Harden is...
Yeah, because they'll play the Celtics or they'll play the Raptors.
And I think the Celtics and the Raptors are both up and coming,
Or the
and they've
Hornets.
actually played together all year. The Celtics and the Raptors, if you ask me, have both turned it around within the last 10 to 15 games. The last 10 to 15 games, the Celtics and the Raptors have both turned their whole season
and if
around.
Harden and Embiid don't gel.
Within the
that's
next to 10,
problems.
15 games. I'm
That's
not buying into it, man. Now, can it happen? Yeah, you have the star power. You came out with the money. You should get what you pay for. But for them to sink, and you think it's going to happen overnight in 20 games, I don't know. And Embiid's probably going to be. And the thing is, Embiid's probably going to play like 12 of those 25 games. I don't know.
because he's hurt.
The 76ers and the Nets will both be top 4 seeds.
Okay. I just think the Bucks and Heat are going to be in the conference finals.
That's a big climb.
The Nets got to hope
They got to
injuries
win
come back.
6 games over everyone else.
Bro, they're going to end up getting matched up with the Bucks again.
Now
they're going
again,
to
I
play the
don't
Bucks
think it-
again, and you're going to
I
have
would love
Giannis.
that.
You're going to have Giannis on
Love
Durant,
that.
and Durant's just coming back from injury. You're going to hope Irving stuff gets
Settled.
and then you're going to have Middleton eat you up. That's what's going to happen.
And Simmons is going to be who
Out of shape still.
and what.
Not
and
shooting the ball.
how.
It's going to be awesome.
I'll tell you what. Is this not the very version of Stephen Nash in coach as it was in player? Like, Nash probably should have went to 2 finals.
Right.
But it was always an injury here or an injury there or his own broken nose there. I mean, like, the Suns, the 7 seconds or less Suns was basically what we're seeing by most teams now. They're like, that should have revolutionized everything before Curry got here. And now Nash gets the Nets job, and he's like, I have Harden and Kyrie and Kevin Durant, and they're 13 wins out of 16 games when we're together. And then Durant gets hurt, and then Harden gets hurt, and Kyrie's non-existent. And so then they lose last year, and now they blew it up, and now they traded
what could
for
have
Simmons.
been?
And Nash is like, once again, am I ever going to get to a final?
Yep.
Ever? Even if I'm coaching 3 of the top 15 players in the NBA all on the same team, is this going to happen for me?
And even if he got there, I still think you have to
You
go
might
through
lose.
You still have to go through the 3 top teams, in my opinion, which are the Suns, Warriors, and Bucks.
It's just rough. Like, as much as I want to see Stephen Nash win, I just almost wonder, like, this is his playing career, which was like a
he's just
20-year career.
cursed.
Yeah, he's like, hey, finally, I'm on, I had all this what should have been with the Suns, and now I'm going to Kobe, Gasol, Dwight Howard, me, and literally all of us are injured all season long for like the last year of my career. And so now I'm going to go coach, and now that's blown to hell.
And when they got those 3 on the team, like whenever they brought that team together, everyone was like, "Oh, that's finals,
I was
guaranteed."
like, that's the end of basketball.
Yeah, that's
Like,
the
who
ultimate
needs
super team
a
kind
defense
of.
at all. Because you can't stop this. You need more defense. But, like, you can't have all the defense in the world and put up with this offense. There's no chance. Steve Nash, man. I tell you what. That sucks.
Hey, so if we were to do like
Sucks.
a recap of who you want in the championship,
Oh,
who
yeah,
would
because you
y'all-
want to change your answers. Go ahead.
do you want to change yours? Would you stay with yours? You remember whose yours
Nets,
was?
Lakers. That was my original.
I believe that was you and 80% of America.
Oh, yeah. Sounds about right.
You're gonna stick with Nets Lakers?
Defer to Josh.
I can't remember what I think. I know I didn't go Lakers.
No,
I know
of course not.
I
You
went
probably went
Nets.
Clippers.
I know. I
No,
went
Mavs.
Full.
Did you say Warriors? Did you
I
say
might have said either Warriors.
Probably said Warriors.
I probably said Warriors.
Yeah.
or Suns?
I'm thinking Warriors or Suns,
I think so too.
which now obviously looks good on that side.
Yeah.
But the East, like I was with the Nets, like everybody in the country, and
Everyone's supposed to be back healthy.
I'm not sold.
Sticking around.
You know, I'm not sold on the Nets side. So in the East, I don't know, man. I don't want it, but
MIA.
yeah, stupid
Number
Miami
one
Heat.
seed. Do it.
Don't be scared. I think I have more faith. I think actually we both have more faith in the Heat than Tori does.
Tori,
You do, and that's why you're wrong.
No, but I'm not.
I
Picking,
know my team.
But I'm not picking.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
you-
picking them out the East. I'm not picking. I just think I have more faith in them than you
okay.
do.
I was
But
like,
I'm
this
still
is
not
like
picking
Joe
them.
Stumper, like telling
Yeah.
you the Steelers, your
Yeah.
team is going to be the
Yeah.
Kansas City Chiefs.
Like,
And
I don't
you're
want to
like,
go for the
no,
Bucks
We're going to
because
lose
I
by
feel
20.
I feel
Yeah.
like the Bucks is the one that
Yeah.
is like more the quote unquote obvious choice. I kind of want to get away from the Bucks. And I
Yeah.
wanted to say Bulls, but I'm really
Don't
I
shy
don't know.
away from the obvious choice.
Obviously I'm gonna say the Heat,
So you're gonna
I
go
would
with
love that.
Heat Warriors.
Heat Warriors.
Yeah. See, I gotta change mine.
Ooh,
I
I would
no
love that.
longer. And actually, I've been feeling this way for quite some time.
I actually feel good
I
about that
don't.
as a Heat fan.
I'm very,
Actually would.
very, very confident that it's not the Lakers. Lakers are not going to be there. I've been feeling that way for a while now, and I'm going to have to go with out the West. It has to be. I'm looking at the Warriors, man.
Say it.
It has to be the
W.
Warriors. Dude, Steph is on a different. I'm telling you, if Thompson just gets on some kind of playoff
Did
Thompson.
you see him against the Lakers?
But that's what's
That was classic Thompson. That was
What's
big
crazy
game time,
is-
and that was 3-3-3-3.
and Steph had his lull
All fourth
after
quarter.
he broke
Yeah.
the record.
Steph didn't play good at all,
He broke the record and then just disappeared.
and they
for a
kept
while,
winning.
and they were still winning.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
6 in a row.
So Clay keeps getting healthy. Steph seems to be starting to come back into the Steph that we all know that he can be.
But see, Steph,
And they have other guys that are still coming in. To where
Steph
like,
alone can win you 2 games.
right.
So that's all you need. And dude,
Clay
the
can win you
Warriors,
another 1 or 2
the
by
Warriors, the Warriors look good, but see, the Suns match up good against the Warriors, and
They
that's
do.
what I want to
They
see.
do.
I want
They
to
do.
see that 1 and 2. I want
And
to.
Draymond's hurt right now for
Yeah.
the next foreseeable future.
Right,
but I want to
So,
see
hard
that.
to say if they fall or rise.
Yes, I want to see that 1 and 2.
Grizzlies,
That's
that's
what I
what
really
I'm
want to see. It's not. I would think, even though
With no Draymond,
I want to say
it's questionable.
the Suns, I believe, beat the Warriors, and then I believe the Memphis just beat the Jazz like recently when they played each other. But I still think Jazz are a better team all around than Memphis, and I believe Warriors.
so.
I believe Warriors. The way Arizona matches up with the Warriors could be problematic, but we'll
Very.
see what Chris Paul does. We'll see what Chris Paul does.
That's a huge factor. They need Chris Paul.
They
to
need
come
Chris
back.
Paul there. They need that leadership. We'll see how that goes. But I have Warriors Bucks. I think that's the way it's going to play out. I think Philadelphia, people are going to be too much hype about what Philadelphia's going to do. I think Harden's going to shoot him out of a championship. I think the Nets are just going to fall apart. They're not going to sink like people think they're going to sink. Oh, Ben Simmons, we just need him to do this. But Kevin Durant, behind his quiet, closed doors, he's actually very driven and very outspoken.
seething
And there's certain things he wants, and Ben Simmons isn't going to give that. So that's just going to fall apart as well. And then you have Heat, and I think it's going to be Heat, Milwaukee again, and then don't count out a sleeper like Atlanta did last year, or you have Chicago and you have Cleveland. You get hot, you get in the playoffs, you start doing some things. Don't be surprised. But I have Bucks.
I don't see Cleveland
Bucks
doing
Warriors.
anything.
We didn't see Atlanta do anything.
No way.
I
But
just-
there was no way Atlanta got there either.
I mean, I kind of called the Atlanta thing.
It can happen.
You did.
It can happen, bro.
I was a little late on
so
I was a little late on the
upset about
Timberwolves.
Yeah.
I said
so
Timberwolves
upset
last
about
year.
that.
They didn't do it
Yeah.
for me, but they're doing something now.
Yep. It can,
Timberwolves, I don't think still has a roster yet. Nuggets, I love Jokic. I love depth, but again, they're looking at Michael Porter Jr. and his back, and Jamal Murray, and who knows. Mavericks, it's Luka's show. I would, a great first round. I would love to see him get in the second.
He's not
That'd
getting
be
swept.
amazing.
He's not getting swept. He's going to give you one good.
Not getting
he's going to
swept.
give you multiple good games, but he's going to give you one winning game.
Yeah.
for sure in a series.
There's not a single team in the West at all that wants to play Memphis. Not a single one. But a veteran team will eventually exploit their youth. Again, I feel like they're going to come through and maybe win one series or two series just due to their youthful energy. But again, a team with more depth and with more veteran experience is probably going to take them out. So then it really comes down to the Warriors, which been there, done that, 3 titles. And then the Suns, who, they were there last year.
Yeah.
And then Lakers, puncher's chance is all that they have if all their guys get aligned. I really hate to go back on a pick. I did have Lakers Nets, but both of those guys are 9th and 8th seed, 9th and 7th seed. That's never happened in basketball ever, so that can't be correct. Warriors Bucks. Giannis, I think everyone's overlooking Giannis. And last time we did that, he won a title. And he's the biggest freak in nature
Like we
that
said,
we've seen
they're at this point, they're
since
coasting.
Probably Shaq.
They're coasting. They know what they are. They know.
Bro, they're like the Bucks of football. They didn't do. They didn't make any changes. They didn't make any. They didn't make any changes, and you think they're gonna have a different result?
Yeah.
No, they're gonna make a long, lengthy payoff run, and they're gonna get to where we think they're gonna get, and they're supposed to be in the big game.
Harden and Embiid is too soon. You got 25 games to figure it out. I don't see it happening. The Nets, you got 25 games to figure this out. Kyrie can't play half of them. Who knows what the playoffs are going to look like with that? Who knows how Simmons' mental health is going to look like with that? So then, really, you just got to get past the Heat, which you swept last year.
And what we say if the Nets play Toronto in the first round? Let's say that happens. Kyrie Irving's not playing at all.
At all.
So,
because they might lift the ban here in the U.S. Who's to say what they're going to do in Canada?
Yeah,
Canada's a whole nother ball game.
Just one of those things, man.
I don't know.
We're going to see. NBA, you got 20, 25 games.
That's right.
We're getting to the grid of it. Playoff basketball is a whole new animal. Love it. Can't wait.
Yep. I like it. All right. So then let's throw this on over to Josh. He has a specific topic that's been going around, and he wants to see how we feel about it. Set the table, Josh.
So I don't know where this even came from. I don't know if I heard it through another. It came with
Tom Brady retiring.
I think Tom Brady obviously had a factor.
Sparked
like I mean, you're starting to hear obviously LeBron's coming near the end. Some say he's the GOAT. You know, you always have those debates, but it's the GOAT topic, the GOAT debate. And I know this is a hard question to answer because there's so many choices and debates behind it. But the GOAT of all GOATs, who is the greatest of all time in sports overall? Is it individual sports? Is it the team sport? Can you factor in one single guy on a team sport to be the GOAT? Like, I personally...
Mm-hmm. Where do you land on this, Josh?
I'm going with a team sport guy.
Are you? GOAT of all GOATs, greatest of all times, and it's going to come down to somebody who plays on a team.
Yes.
So it requires other people to help you be great, to support your greatness.
Because
go for it.
I don't know if Wayne Gretzky needed anybody else.
Gretzky.
Gretzky, the man is the greatest hockey player of all time. He has 61 records that he holds in the National Hockey League.
Stat stuffing records is what you're saying.
Absolutely insane. He had a season.
Teasing.
Or actually, I'm sorry. They said you could take away all his points scored, and he still would be the way that hockey does things is you get points for assists and
the
goals.
hockey assists. Yeah.
So they said you could take away all his goals, and he would still be the league leader in NHL history based on just his assists alone. That is ridiculous. The fact that you lead leagues in goals, which Ovechkin's is on the verge of taking.
Yeah, I'm about to say Ovechkin.
But it's only scoring. That's all Ovechkin does.
Yeah, he's not an assist guy.
All he does is score goals.
Yeah,
which is great, fantastic. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no, he's a long tenured, and he finally got his ship. You know what I mean? But Gretzky's got multiple.
But Gretzky's
he's on a different level.
Yeah. Like I said, when you got 61 records, 40 of them in the regular season, 15 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, 6 in the All-Star game, it's just absolutely insane. He's played 20 years. Ovechkin's only 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
He's right there on taking over the point. Like he'll probably have it if he's not this year, then he'll have it next year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like I said,
yeah, actually, I think
did a multitude.
I actually think Ovechkin just passed for second place, like just a few games ago or something like that. I believe I've seen that. Like he just passed for second place.
So I mean, the things that Gretzky, he's changed the game. Like hockey is not a world, or I'm sorry, it is a worldwide sport because a lot more.
Correct.
Yeah.
As far as America goes, Gretzky put hockey on the map in the United States.
Yes.
Like before Gretzky, nobody knew who anybody was. a long time after Gretzky, you really didn't know. You had like the Mario Lemieux.
Yeah, Mario Lemieux definitely. Mario Lemieux, what Mario Lemieux did from like me watching, like especially like Penguin hockey, because like even till this day, like I like the Penguins and I like the Lightning for hockey. But like what Mario Lemieux did to the game was he kind of did like the over the back around the net kind of scoring.
Right.
He was a scorer, but Gretzky was a beast. Gretzky was an animal, man.
Yeah, I mean, 894 goals is insane. Except we know Ovechkin, if he hasn't passed it, will pass it. Mm-hmm. But when I seen the stat that they said you could take away all his goals scored and he would still be the all-time points leader is insane to me. He won 4 Stanley Cups. Except just the name alone, when you say Gretzky, everybody knows.
Everybody knows.
There's very few hockey players that people can name, and Gretzky's one of those guys.
He's idolized.
Yeah.
He's idolized in countries, nations, worldwide. Just he's known. He's known, man.
Like there's definitely this was a hard debate. Like I had other people. I think if Tiger wouldn't have gotten hurt, and the path that he was going on, I might have had to go towards a Tiger Woods. But with his injury and just kind of the way he's, fallen off, I guess you could say, and he's looking like he's not going to take the major records, so it's like, unfortunately, that puts him on the back burner a little bit. You have Michael Jordan, which I think a lot of people would say he is the GOAT, but I feel like there's too much debate in the NBA where people say you have.
Is there a debate in hockey?
That's what I'm saying.
Like, that's what I'm asking. Yeah,
like with every other sport, you have that debate on who it is.
Yeah.
And then hockey is like, well, it's Gretzky. Like there's no arguing it. There's no debating it.
No. The only debate I had for like picking my greatest of all time is.
What do you got, Dev?
So I really wanted to go with a one-man sport, and I mean, you had your golf, you had your tennis, your boxing, even MMA. That I just don't know. MMA has the records yet to go around for the greatest of all time records, because
it's more
like
recent than these other sports. Yes, sir.
Well, so like you had some multiple champs,
yeah,
but you even had champs at the same time. As in boxing, you had multiple champs, different weight classes, different this, that. Like you already had those. You also had the Floyds with the undefeateds, but you had other boxers with undefeated records too. Then you also had Floyd's. In boxing, you have a lot of tune-up fights.
Right,
so, like in the 50 fights of Floyd's fights, 30 of them were what I mean.
Get right fights.
Tell me those names.
Yeah. That's one of my biggest problems with
boxing.
Floyd.
So even like before we were looking, you had like. I think it was Sugar Ray Robinson. He had like 202 professional fights.
Yeah.
So from like 1940s to whatever, but I'm like 1940. Like who was he boxing?
You fighting?
Right. You know what I mean? Then of course you
not
look
to say again like the amount of
you
years
don't
that he fought and the amount of people that he fought. I mean, like what are you fighting somebody every month?
That's the thing.
And that's absurd. Anybody can crack you off.
But see, that's the thing. Like sparring matches. But see, sparring matches like
who?
You have sparring matches. You have like Lomachenko, who had like 1,000 Olympic, sparred matches, which is how many rounds? 6 to 7, 8 rounds. Yeah. What's the knockdowns? What kind of boxing fight? Now, when you get into these rules, now what are the sanctions from back then to back now? You know what I mean? Can you fight every 2 weeks? Now you have to wait 2-3 months. How do you pad your stats?
4.
Who you fighting? Whatever it may be. You get like 3 months suspension just for getting punched in the head over a certain amount of time. But what I had to do is one of the biggest debates, even though we don't talk about it a lot, and just for the knowledge of y'all and out there.
Hit us.
My older brother played for like 13 years. I played for 11 years. Soccer background. We played soccer.
Ooh,
bro, one of the biggest debates in sport. No.
Messi?
Messi, bro. You got to go Messi.
Say it.
The two biggest paid stars right now, and they've been in the top 10 for years and years. Messi and Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Head to head, Ronaldo I think has like 140 more games than Messi. Messi, he's gonna obliterate his scoring, even though they're still scoring. They're both going head to head. Messi is like 35 goals behind Ronaldo. He has 4 championships. He has 3 Euro leagues and 3 FIFA Cups.
Talk to him.
Messi, dude, he's an animal. He's a hard left-footed kicker, and he's a game changer, man. He is a game changer, and he has the highest goal I think it's per minute in soccer ever, and his average is like 0.8 goals a game. So this man's getting a goal a game. I think he's at like 950 games, and he damn near gets a goal every game. I think he leads in hat tricks in soccer, and I have to go Messi, man. That's who I'm going with. And between Messi and Ronaldo, I believe Ronaldo and Messi, they're like worth $400 or $500 million a piece. Like their contracts for football, soccer is just ridiculous. And the money, it's worldwide. You have to go with these worldwide sports. That's where I'm at. I'm with Messi and Ronaldo, and I have to go Messi.
Respect. Going soccer. I like that, boss. Here in America, I like that.
I didn't see that one coming. I'll admit.
No, I didn't.
I didn't expect you to go that route.
I didn't expect that at all. That was good. That was good. You laid it out great.
Got to.
Where I'm at with, it depends on your criteria. Everything depends on your criteria. If you're talking about championships, if you're talking about individual stats, if you're talking about legacy, if you're talking about longevity, if you're talking about peak performance, that all has to be hashed out beforehand. If we're talking about greatest of all time, again, are we talking team sports? Are we talking individuals where you don't have to rely on your teammates, but you also don't have to play on both sides of most sports is the ball? It's hard to say. Again, I really wanted to go boxing here. It's one-on-one. You have to be great on offense and defense. That's kind of where I stake my claim on the greatest of all time, is you have to be able to play both ways. And so, I mean, number one, let's just put this out there. If we're talking about championships, if we're talking about personal championships, if we're talking about personal accolades, if we're talking about participation trophies, in the greatest of all sports, there's no participation trophy. You got second, but like,
right.
Come on. Like, who else? The greatest in the world beat you? Oh, okay, and you beat him next year. Like, come on now. Then it's got to be Serena Williams. No one has ever had as many titles across her entire dominance of her sport as her. You can rack up everything. She's going to be above every man. Now, if we're talking about a male sport, then I am going to pivot off Josh, and I'm going to say Tiger Woods. You have to be able to do it all. And it's just you, and I guess you're caddy.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but you're playing everybody else. And I get the Jack Nicklaus conversations for sure, you know, the gold jackets and all this and all that. But he played in an era where, I mean, number one, black people couldn't play. And other ethnic races couldn't play. And then you move it on to today, like you move decades and decades on to today, they move the pin. I'm sorry, they changed the entire course. They changed the hole. They changed, it was up here. And so that's why you're good at it. So you come back next year and I'm just always good at sawgrass. No, sorry, we moved it down here. You have to hit it over here, roll it back into the hole. And by the way, if you move too far, you go down to the drink. So now every single year they're changing all of these conditions for these players because they're so damn good. And the technology is also so damn good. Let me throw it over to you. Go ahead.
That's where my argument was going to be. You said the era. You also got to factor in the era of
certainly the
golf clubs that went from being, not much bigger than the golf ball to now, like they're just ridiculous. You can't miss the sweet spot on these new golf clubs.
No.
I seen Happy Gilmore hit it with a hockey stick. So
that's a good point. He drove it 400 yards.
They were
easy
when they said woods. Yeah. They were playing with woods.
Yes.
Not what it is today with these graphite shafts.
Polished chipped wood.
Like they're pulling out a cherry wood to like 3 wood.
Yeah.
And that's where we come back to era. And how you compare.
That's the biggest thing. That's the biggest thing of greatest all time.
All encompassing. Yeah. And that's so hard.
It's such a debate. You can debate it forever. Like that's one of the ones that
one of the biggest things why I wanted to bring up boxing and even Floyd when Floyd comes in.
Ali.
But the thing is, when you talk about greatest of all time, and especially like hand-to-hand combat, it's so hard. Even no matter who you played, how you played, what you played, if you don't lose.
Right.
It's so hard to not pick Floyd. You know what I mean? Because like he never lost, no matter who he fought. And like even now, like
what stage? He was like 36,
but
and
even
still
now,
fighting guys that are like 27.
Even now, like I question, like I really wish, I wish like 3 years ago, even though Floyd would have been like, what, 39, 40, I don't know. But I would have wanted to see him fight Canelo now, where Canelo's out to where his prime was, and seeing that again, because he fought Canelo so young. But Floyd did go undefeated. When you go undefeated, I don't know how many undefeated boxers there are, but like
few.
There's like, I think Chavez, he had like 2 or 3 losses, but he had like 100 fights.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. You got 100
fights
somewhere.
100 fights. This man had 55 more fights than you, and he lost 3 times. And at what age of his career did he lose? How long did he fight? These are things like, I don't know. You know what I mean? I'm still
when
young.
Did he lose? Did he lose when he was past his prime and he lost to a younger cat? Like nowadays, that'd be cherry picking.
But
or was he younger and he beat older guys?
But I
that'd be
believe
cherry picking.
But I believe he was
difficult to
he was
discuss.
over 50-0 too.
Yeah.
I believe he was over 50-0 too. So that's just the things I'm looking at. And then weight classes. How many weight classes did you change? How many?
Yes.
Once
How
you're
many
in
belts are
boxing,
out there?
right? So when you look at boxing, there's so many details to that.
That's where it got murky for me, and I couldn't go boxing.
But that's like one sport. Even Messi, like how many times do you see Messi run back and play defense to save a goal? You see it, but how often does it happen? Because he's trying to get that breakaway to get the ball to score.
Right. When you're forward, you don't really your position isn't to be on the defensive side of the ball in the first place.
Boxing, you are playing offense and defense. Mm-hmm. Your object is not to get hit. And Floyd was one of the best people to do that, not to get hit.
Yep.
But then you look at like Roy Jones kind of tarnished.
Oh, don't even talk to me about Roy Jones. That's my favorite boxer.
He kind of tarnished his stuff towards the end because he didn't.
Heavy.
Well, he was heavy, but he didn't want to give it up. He didn't want to give it up. Yep. And his whole object, especially when you're fighting heavier weighted people, you're going to get knocked out, especially when your same game was like a Floyd to bob and weave, make them look like clowns.
Well, and especially when you're a middleweight,
right?
And you move your weight to heavyweight,
right?
You don't bring that same power that heavyweights already had, and that's why they're not dropping down to middleweight.
But once your movement's gone, once your movement was gone, and he was all the way up there, you're going to get knocked out. Then you try to go back to light heavyweight, and you're at that time you already just got obliterated in the head by a heavyweight. It's just, boxing is one of those sports where no matter how it goes, people are like, oh, it's a dying sport. It's really not. There's so much money, and it's a world sport.
It's not.
Soccer, how often do y'all watch soccer? Never, but it gets more views than any sport we ever watch.
I watch soccer
during like Olympics.
I watch
my man
FIFA.
My man Josh.
I watch the World Cup. I watch the Euro Cup.
There you go.
I do occasionally catch some.
Do you watch America?
Why would I watch America? I want to watch good soccer.
Yeah, I want to watch good soccer. I want to watch good soccer.
I don't watch America. I don't want to watch bad soccer.
Yeah.
Like, I can't watch the local like MLS type soccer.
Dude, we got like the knockoff Beckham, like back in the day. Yeah.
We have like
XFL league in here.
I want to watch the majors, not the minors. That's the biggest thing. Unfortunately,
I want the names that I can't read. That's the ones I want. That's when you watch soccer.
I want to watch the real professionals.
Yes. I want to watch the Germans and the Brazil and the Argentinas. Okay, that's what I want to watch. But like sports like that, that's just it's a good time.
It's more worldwide than what.
There's so much money out there and even UFC's blowing up. In 10 years, UFC is going to be right there. Now, is it going to be paid like boxing? They want to. I don't think it will, though. I don't think UFC will ever get paid like boxing will.
I don't think so, and the reason I think so is because it's so hard to keep that goose egg on your record. Because there's so many different styles that can beat your style. Right. And there's so many people that are coming. What's the life expectancy? Like 20 fights?
Bro, it's funny that you say that.
Broken.
In MMA, Jim Miller just had the most fights. It was the most UFC fights compared to the least amount of UFC fights. 0, a debuter.
Yeah.
And he had 39 UFC fights.
39. He's tied for it, isn't he? Yeah. With Cerrone?
He's tied for he has, I believe,
or is the most wins.
He has. I want to say
he tied Cerrone.
No, I want to say, but I want to no. That's wins, but I think he has the most UFC fights. Yeah. He has the most. Yeah, he has the most UFC fights. He has 39 UFC fights, and then he's tied for wins in UFC. Yeah, and then I think Charles Oliveira is up there too. But yeah, it was the most UFC fights versus 0, a debuter, and he actually wants to run it back with Donald Cerrone, but he said he wanted to know the longevity of like an actual like. So you think of UFC, you think of the big names. Of course, you always think of the big names, whatever. So
every sport.
What's the longevity of an actual UFC fighter? So you got to think of the people who only have one debut, one fight, 2 fights, maybe a 3-fight contract.
Yeah.
It's 5 fights.
This was, I figured 5 fights might be an average.
5 fights is an average for a UFC career.
Yeah.
And this man has 39 of them. Right. And there's
so
not
how
people.
Are you going to keep an O on that loss column? You got to keep it below like probably 9.
But look at Khabib.
If you're going to fight 39
Khabib went undefeated.
Yeah.
But
how many fights?
He only had like 10 UFC fights.
Right.
And 3 of those UFC fights were against losing records.
Put up another, 29 fights. See how many L's you get.
5 of those UFC fights were against strikers.
Yeah.
He took them down.
Yeah. Because he has another skill set.
You know, at the end of the day, let me see it. No, I'm not knocking Khabib. Khabib was great. Khabib was great.
He's still one of the greatest UFC fighters in his short time.
He was, he was tuning up his boxing and his stand-up towards the end. And now, actually, he has like 5 fighters under him, and he has his first fighter loss that he's coached.
Yeah.
He's an animal. But
it'd be like a one-on-one thing with basketball. You're like, all right, this guy's got 3-pointers, this guy's got the defense, this guy's got the length, this guy's got the mid-range, this guy's got the scoring. But if you go one-on-one, like, what do you got? Taekwondo, you got jiu-jitsu, you got strikers, you got wrestling, wrestlers, you got brawlers, you got
you got Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you got regular jiu-jitsu, you got
How are you supposed to pick a winner on that unless they're a heavy favorite just because name or build, height, length? Boxing stuff.
There's stuff out there that you don't even know.
Yeah.
Like Sato and
what is it, like
Greek wrestling and
4
Roman
ounce gloves?
Yeah, 4-ounce gloves.
Like you're getting your head knocked off.
Yeah. And then you've done all these.
In the skull.
You've done all these, but have you done all these with like getting punched in the face?
Right.
Oh, you
it's
have.
A little different.
Well, how about an elbow to the skull?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
when you were laying on the ground, did you get an elbow driven into your nose?
How about a knee into like the side of your stomach? And then it's like, how long do you want to do that? And then you really get tested and
boxing, 5 fight stops.
Yeah, boxing. Yeah, boxing. That's an actual art, and I just don't think it's going to go away. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. But yeah, that's where we're at, man. That's a good debate.
Fights, but it's never going away.
Yeah,
boxing is a worldwide sport. It is in the Olympics, but I think as more of these sports start to come up, I think like even with UFC.
There's things up for the grabs to jump in the ranks.
The UFC, they need to figure out the pay thing.
Yeah.
But see,
because right now they're not paying their guys.
UFC fighters want to learn boxing.
Yep. Now you have these other, because there's money.
It's money, and they also don't have to get
boxing ain't going away.
And guess what? You don't get kicked in the face in boxing. Or you know you're going to get punched. You know you're going to get punched. Elbow. Now you just got to figure out where you're going to get punched from. You don't have to worry about getting taken down. You know who are all the people who want to leave UFC? They're all strikers.
Yep.
Well, a lot of them, like Mike Perry, just made his debut in the bare knuckle fighting.
Mm-hmm. So
there's bare knuckle fighting. They're making more money off of one fight than in their career in the UFC. Like that's the kind of stuff that it's like
on a smaller crowd, on a smaller pay scale too. Like on a smaller
it's a smaller venue, right?
Yeah,
it's not the hype that the UFC name has, but you're getting paid more to
those names still have hype on them. So that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to bring that out, but they were a wash. Mike Perry?
Right.
Mike Perry was a wash. He was losing. Thiago Alves, he was losing. Chad Mendes, he still had a chance, but he couldn't beat the top 3, top 4 fighters.
Paige Van Zandt, like Paige
Van Zandt, she was losing.
Right.
She was losing, but she's not a striker. She was a wrestler.
But they're going over there and getting paid more than you are in the UFC. That's where the reason why boxing will survive is because
how long do you think their career is going to last over there?
Of course it's not going to last, dude. Literally,
one more
bare knuckle
every fight, their life's gonna change, and they're gonna wear and tear a lot faster. And show me your insurance plan for
how many strikers?
Yeah, show me your insurance game plan for bare knuckle fighting.
But if you're a striker,
you know what UFC has? You know what UFC has?
You're not
a whole institute, a whole rehab institute.
But if I'm in the UFC and I'm a striker, why would I stay in the UFC for the money they're paying you when I can go to the bare knuckle?
Listen, a lot of them strikers are kickboxers. That's why you can't kick in bare knuckle fighting. So you're looking at people who are basically street fighters, act a fool, or have some kind of boxing background, and they're just like, you know what? I'm on like a losing skid. Let me go get paid real quick. But you're gonna go get paid, and your face is gonna go get beat up. And like I said, you're going to probably go do 5 fights there. So you might do like 2-3 fights in UFC, go over there, do 4 or 5 fights. Hopefully you're good with your money or you're going to be broke.
The thing with, like I said, the reason why boxing, I personally think, I say it's a dying sport simply because the amount of belts. They need to cut down the belts, and they need to have the major fighters fight each other instead of ducking each other till the end of their careers.
Correct.
That's the reason why I say boxing is dying, just because there's so much.
I'll say the draw is dying.
There you go. That's the better way to say it.
Is that okay to say?
For who? Americans?
For the casual fan.
Yeah. For Americans.
For the casual fans.
Just America.
I don't think boxing is hyped up across. It's not soccer's level.
It's not soccer. Soccer is on a whole different. Bro, that's like saying rugby. You know, rugby is like one of the biggest.
Rugby's also a huge factor other than America.
But that's the thing, though. Like,
name me a rugby player. We don't even bring up
soccer?
rugby. I bet there's a great Wayne Gretzky of rugby. We just don't know. But bro, there's actually a game called like footy or footsie or something like that, and it's huge.
Right,
it's huge, and people talk about it, know about it.
Soccer, you can't get away from the matchups. Like once you get ranked, once your bracket is set,
yeah.
There's no avoiding it. You can't just say, I'm going to fight for this belt instead.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to, up myself 3 pounds and I'm just going to move on from this guy. Where boxing, you can certainly finesse your whole career around your biggest threat. Now, eventually you have to fight 1 or 2, but you should really fight like
that's
6
why
or 7.
That's why a lot of people respect, even though it's some are up and coming, some of it's great fighters that just haven't got there yet, and some are ex-UFC fighters. But the PFL league, they do the tournament.
Yep.
They do the tournament. You win. Guess what? You just got to fight the other guy who won.
Go.
You win all the way. You win $1 million.
Yep.
So
who doesn't want that?
First off, you win.
Not ducking anybody if I got that chance.
You're going to be the champion. You get $1 million, and you're still getting paid to fight. I don't know what you're getting paid to fight. I don't know how much you're getting paid to fight. But if you win, you could be a millionaire.
Right. It's the draw. It's the confidence you put into yourself to be able to do something.
And
like
there's
that.
a bracket. You're not ducking nobody.
And speaking of Khabib, even he's starting his own.
Yeah, he already started it. He already started it. Yeah, he's already taken UFC fighters,
and he's starting to get some because being an ex-fighter, I think he might have a little bit more.
So that basically what he's doing is Russia and over there they already had like their own like slew of Russian fighters, just like himself.
Vodka and potatoes.
The wrestling bear.
Wrestling bears, exactly.
Yeah.
But he's bringing them over to America. He's brought it over to America, and I think it's called like Gorilla something. And you got to give it to him.
Absolutely.
But Jorge, he's doing his own bare knuckle thing in Miami. Like all these fighters they're promoting, and everyone can knock all they want. Even the Paul brother Jake, he's out here knocking. Bro, they're all feeding off of Dana White and what Dana White did. Bro, no one can knock the promoting of Dana White.
Of course.
Nope. Nobody. Conor McGregor, he's doing exactly what Dana White did, and he fed off of Dana White, got close with Dana White, and they're still promoting Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And this man's telling you he was going to kill Dustin Poirier and his wife and this, that, and the other, the kids, everybody, and they're still promoting it. He sold the company just like Dana White sold his company. Yeah. And they're still the face of the company.
Yeah.
You can't knock them, bro. Make your money, do your thing. There's a way of doing it. I don't knock it.
So at the end of the day, for me, it's UFC needs to pay their guys or they're going to end up going to the wayside.
They're going to start dipping their toes in other waters. Talk to some of those
guys.
For sure.
Talk to some of those guys, man. Some of those guys are not complaining. Look at Izzy just came out. And Izzy's like, dude, they just paid me.
Right, but how many are we getting paid? Look at Sean O'Malley.
Win.
3 years and
win.
Sean O'Malley said, why would I risk fighting a guy who's in the top when I'm going to get paid?
Who's Sean O'Malley?
Sean O'Malley's one of the guys they want to be the man. They want him to be up there.
With a loss. He's broken his foot twice.
Right.
He hasn't fought. The one name he did fight, he broke his foot in Marlon Vera and lost.
But
fight the next guy.
Trying to hype up.
I know. I like Sean O'Malley. I love it. But I'm just saying
he could probably box.
Let me see a wrestler. Let me see a wrestler against him. Let me see a wrestler against him. And he's still hoping for a knockout. I like Sean O'Malley. I think he's great. Super hyped about him. I hope he does great. I'm just saying, all these people want a handout. Put in the work. Give me 5, 6, 7. Bro, there's 7, 8, 9 fight win streaks I've seen. And they didn't get a title fight, but someone wins 3 fights to get a title fight. Show me who you fight. Give me a name who you fight. How you do it. How do you promote yourself?
Similar to WWE, it's how you just said it. It's how you promote yourself.
Yep. Right.
Sean O'Malley is one of those guys.
Yeah, he's promoted himself.
He's come out and said, why would I risk fighting a top 5, 10 guy if I'm going to get the same amount as if I fight a top 15, top 20 guy?
Yep.
Why would you risk taking an L to make the same amount of money?
Get money.
That's what
It's hurting the
that's
sport.
That's what UFC needs to figure out.
It's hurting the
and they
sport.
did pay Izzy,
Yeah.
but now you got Ngannou who's threatening to leave because he wants to get paid.
Yep.
But the thing is, how much?
You got Ngannou. Dude, there was a guy to the bare knuckle that said, I made more money in my bare knuckle fight than Ngannou made in his championship fight.
Yeah, but that's the thing. How much? You know what I mean? How much money? And then what is your contract?
But
like what is your, and as Ngannou, what is your draw? Like, I think Ngannou has a big draw. But I'm just saying, like, you don't know those talks. So all you see is just, oh, man, you're not paying that man. But, like, how much did this man ask for? Because if he's not giving me the McGregor numbers, I'm not going to give him McGregor money. It's just not going to happen. That's just not going to happen, dude. Like, you have all of Ireland watching. And that's households of Ireland. You don't have all of Nigeria watching.
Sure you do.
No, they're watching on, like, in their city. In their city. Like, they show, even when they show Usman in all the Nigeria watching the fight. Like, you don't have that crowd that goes in and turns up and flies from Ireland and goes to Ireland and goes to Boston and brings in the whole stadium is Irish people. You don't see that from Nigeria. You don't see that from London Fire. You don't see that from France Fire. It's not that draw yet. You don't have that backbone.
I don't know if it's necessarily the person. I don't know if necessarily the country there.
Bro, Ngannou should get paid. He just doesn't have the draw.
He doesn't have the personality for it.
And he doesn't have the draw.
But because he doesn't have that personality, the way an Izzy has a draw because he's so over the top. He's exciting to watch. Even before he enters the ring, he's doing things. The way he trash talks. It's funny to hear him trash talk. The way that the reason why Conor got the attention is because the same way that Mayweather got the attention. It's the pre and the post. That's what, dude. Black Beast.
Derek Lewis.
He got draw because his post-fight interviews when he's my balls is hot.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan, I want to come smoke weed with you.
Yeah.
Or he's throwing his cup out into the crowd.
Everyone's on Facebook like, yeah.
You know that draws. He shouldn't get that kind of draw.
No.
But see, he's also not coming out here saying I should get paid more because you know why? He's getting paid exactly what he wants, and he's knocking people out, and he's getting the bonus. That's the thing. Like, they even up some of the bonus. They even up some of the bonus sometimes. They even like I said, you get your little 3,000, 4,000. But what are you paying out? How are you living? And I'm not saying you don't deserve more money. Like Ngannou, he should be a higher paid person. He's the heavyweight champ. You're the baddest man right now on the planet. You beat Stipe. You beat Gon. Lewis. Like, you got to run that back. But you're a bad man, bro. They need to pay him. But like I said, you're not going to go and get $300 million like Tyson Fury.
I'm not saying that you're going to get that, but you got to kind of pay that man more than what you seem to be.
What is your sponsors? What's your outlook? What's your bring in?
But the problem is UFC is making 80% to 90%, and the fighters are getting 10%, 20%, whereas these other sports,
I feel like
they're making 30 to 40%.
We're probably a few years away from like a players' association.
Right.
Almost like there will be like a fight.
There was already talks about it.
It's coming along. Yeah. It's going to happen.
It's going to happen. Like, and you're going to have these lockouts like MLB right now and things like that.
MLB for maybe big names.
Yes.
For maybe big names. For some of these fighters, bro, that's all they know is fighting. And, it looks like we're going to...
But it's the same thing with any sport.
Yeah.
The big name guys are the ones that really want to go on strike.
Right.
And the lesser name guys are like, hey, I can't afford to sit out like you guys can.
Guess what?
So thanks for locking this up.
John Jones was your big draw. And, y'all can't do nothing without me. Y'all need me. John Jones hasn't fought in like 3 or 4 years.
Right.
So.
Yeah. But he could. And he'd draw numbers.
But they're going to live without him.
For sure. All these guys, they'll move on without him. Yeah. But in order to keep that kind of going, you're going to need to start working on...
You're going to need to work with your employers.
Yes.
Essentially.
I don't know how we got down that rabbit hole, but that was interesting.
Any last thoughts before we wrap this up? It looks like we ran out of time for the college basketball. We will come back next week with a deep dive into the NCAA and where we're headed into March Madness. Devin, do you have any parting thoughts?
No, man. I'm super stoked for March Madness. I want to see where that goes. like I said, you got your, your play-in bracket. You got your one and done. You got your, you win your conference championship, you're in. So
Yeah,
they're going to take a spot.
to get there before.
Yeah.
So we're about to come into the conference championships. I think
Yep.
we're 4 or 5 games away from conference
Yep.
championships starting up.
Yep.
So that's where we really start to get a more clear picture of where some of these bubble teams are.
Your bubble teams, play your way in. You could be in last place, but you
make
still
that
seed.
run.
You still seed in the conference championship.
Shockers.
It happens, man. Like I said, you got your 11 or 13 seeds you got to watch out for. We're going to see how these conference champions come out. I'm interested in that. Playoffs, injuries, basketball. We'll see where that goes, man. And then always UFC. We got some big UFC cards coming up. UFC's
Yes, sir.
got some cards going like almost every week. I'm stoked, man. I'm stoked. Then we got the NFL Combine coming up, and we'll have all that. So
That almost didn't happen. There was some.
it's going to happen. Listen, it's
They've
gonna
already
happen.
come out now and said it's going to
It's gonna
happen.
happen.
Yeah, it will.
But the
Yeah.
players and the agents
talk.
were having some talks about the bubble.
Listen, I
situation
called
and
my
all this.
guys. They called their guys.
So
Everything's good, man.
check out the Facebook group, Sirts and Skins Podcast.
Yes.
Check out Tori Zeiska on there. If you are interested in college basketball,
Yes.
he does a nice little bracket challenge. It's pretty exciting.
You pick a few teams.
It's 10 teams.
You're always in the mix.
So it's something cool to check out. Look it up if you're on the page. I don't know why you wouldn't be on the page. If you're not, check it out. Other than that, man, let's go. Let's get it. We're
NBA
coming down to
All-Star
the
break
wire.
just wrapped up. Cleveland, this is for you. Number 2. Chris Paul and the Suns. Let's see how far they drop. Draymond Green down with the Warriors. Let's see if they drop or if Curry and Clay can take them over the top. Simmons, Kyrie, Durant. Let's see if they start to climb. I mean, we got a whole lot of stuff going on the NBA side,
Yeah.
too. And so we're going to catch you next time for some more NBA talk, probably some more fight talk. NCAA March Madness coming up. We'll catch you next time. This has been the Shirts and Skins Podcast. See you next week.